refuse service.
But there seems like there's a problem with, and I don't know if you've noticed this, everybody's seeking attention.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be seen. I mean,
everyone wants to be famous.
And but it's bullshit, though.
I mean, not everyone.
But it's like, one of the guys was just trying to be. I was in a debate, and I eventually stopped because I could see that the guy just wanted to be right, and he wanted attention. And one of the people said, what do you think of the situation? He said, you haven't said anything. I said, he needs to go hug a tree. And then just fucking... Yeah, and people, they always laugh when I say that, but it's like, dude, I'm not giving you that. I said, you guys want attention too bad. Everybody wants to be the guy. And they want all these, I'm not making this up, Dave. I have 2 kids at my job who came in, and their first name is Master. They're black. They're black kids. One's name's Master Johnson. The other one is Master Davis. Yes, Master. And wait a minute. Down the hall from him was Messiah. And I said, no. And they said, Ty, I said, Johnson, come over. And the dude said, man, my name is Master. I'm not calling you Master.
I had a friend that I grew up with going to summer camp. He always said if and when he had children, he wanted to name his first son Sir Fuckface. Because if his teachers refused to call him Sir, they would have to call him Fuckface. He grew out of this by the time he actually had children, but it's still a great idea.
Yeah. I'm serious. I was like, what are these parents thinking? And it's all for attention. These names, Victorious. No, Angel. All angels are murderers. We know this. I haven't met one yet that hasn't been in for murder. And Precious is a hoe. And it's just, and it's all every we got people that when you talk to them, they want to show you, like when my niece had said to me, I have over 1,500 Facebook friends. I said, well, why don't you call them up and borrow money from them? Why are you asking me? I think if you got $1 each from each one, boy, you'd pay your rent. Don't call your uncle, But, I don't know, Dave. I think that maybe I need to go hug a tree. I don't know. Let's get away from them. I know. I can't, when we see someone that you're so screwed up that you will go and take a pistol and go to YouTube to shoot people. Now, who was she shooting? Just anybody?
Just random YouTube employees. They're all part of the system. They're part of the problem, apparently.
Beat her ass. Then she gonna blow her brains out. Chicken shit. Yeah, that was the case. Yeah, that's like they spent $200 million to put a net under the bottom of the Golden Gate Bridge. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't.
Yes,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
didn't know it.
Well, no, Dave, because why are we spending money on someone that doesn't want to be here?
Right? No, I understand that, but it's a lot more. It makes a lot more sense fiscally to have the cops fishing someone out of a net than having them fish someone out of a bay.
Well, if he hits the bay...
That's time and money looking for him.
Well, you're not going to find him anyway. Just let the sharks have him. Because they don't want you to... One, they're going to be pissed when you catch them. Do you understand? When you do not allow someone... Look, I've been working all day to kill myself.
Well, do the research. They have nets. Go somewhere else. Not that I think about this myself often, but I was walking on Sunset, right by the 101,
right,
a couple weeks ago. And noticed they have huge fences up at the bridge over the freeway. Mm-hmm. I was down last week on Santa Monica, walking, same area east-west, but going over the 101 on Santa Monica, I noticed they do not have high fences.
Right.
And it was rush hour, so traffic was going really slow. And I was wondering, do they not have fences up because people look out here and go, "No, it's just going to be a fall. I'm not gonna get hit by a car." Also, they're moving too slowly, or is it because, well, it's more of a dodgy neighborhood. We don't need to put the fences up. Someone wants to kill himself down there. Gay doesn't let him have at it.
They spent that money in Cleveland. In Cleveland, I read an article in Cleveland. They put fences up. Spent $10 million. Put fences up along this high bridge that you walk over. Now down at the bottom, the guy had a house, and his dog was outside, and the guy was down, and they said, "Sir, did you notice they put a fence up there on the bridge?" He said, "Yeah. Is that good for you?" He said, "It didn't bother me if they jump, as long as they jump quietly." Because when they would yell, it would spook my dog. He said, "I did mine." He said, "Other than that, I'm good. But that's good. My, knows that my tax dollars are going to help people and keep them. But that was my only problem I had with it." And I was like, "Wow!" And when they showed the picture of how far the jump was and to where his house was, I said, "I get it. And the dog would, he said, he'd go down there, "God damn it." And he said sometimes he could be sitting in the house having a cup of coffee. He'd do, so just thought we're going to hell for that one.
Well, sure, but we're bound for that trip anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, but
we're comedians. It's going to happen,
right? But I just when I think of what did you see that Trump is taking the National Guard to the
borders?
To
yeah,
the border.
And the Mexican border was like, and we didn't get you anything.
No, I mean you're going to take, and everyone says they're not sending them. Oregon said, the governor said, "No, I'm not sending our National Guard."
Well, yeah, but Oregon doesn't have a border with Mexico, so I'd be a little concerned if the Oregon State Guard showed up in San Diego.
I don't think Texas is going to
actually,
do it.
No, Texas and Arizona are. New Mexico and California we'll see what happens. Right. But honestly, and you know me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in conspiracy theorists, though. And this is probably really irresponsible of me to do after talking, about how you're not guaranteed a venue and responsibility of speech. And I think our listeners are savvy enough to not, be the liberal equivalent of the folks who, after Katrina, fell for, Obama's got FEMA camps and death camps and panels. But... And of course, I'm not saying this is happening. I am not, suggesting that that the deep state, any of that crap. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, and I guess I should preface this by saying I'm an entertainer. So that up front. I'm not going to try and use it as an excuse later. I'm not saying this is happening, but I could see where people would believe, and I'm waiting for someone on the conspiracy side of things to say, well, yeah, of course they want to get the National Guard all down to the border, so that leaves the rest of the state vulnerable for attack by whoever, Trump's private troops, Blackwater. So I'm kind of waiting for that to come out on the conspiracy side. Conspiracy folks, you're letting me down here. I've had to focus on this jackass with a rocket who believes the earth is flat.
Right.
It's
that
like, come
guy.
on.
Yeah.
Although this week in his remarks to folks in West Virginia, Trump literally threw out the prepared remarks and announced that, well, yeah, California, people, millions of illegal votes. That's I would have won California if they didn't have millions of people voting illegally. It's not a conspiracy theory, according to Trump. It's a total conspiracy. It's not actually, no, I guess he's right. It's not even a conspiracy theory because it's just bullshit.
Right. Hey, we can all and true, just as we know, the people eventually will be walking around with lightning bolts in their ass. That's what we know. That this guy, the guy can tell these people anything. And they will buy it.
Oh yeah,
and right
he's a music man. He's a what? He's a what?
Just like what did they say Hitler said that if you say it enough, they'll believe it.
Make the lie big enough.
Right.
And people will believe it.
Right.
Make it big enough and say it often enough, I believe.
Right, yeah. And
paraphrasing.
And wait a minute. And in Trump's book, it's the same thing. He had something in his book, the same narrative. If you say it enough, people believe it. And so, when you don't have anyone challenging and they believe what folks say, I mean, it's easy. That's why, like I said, it's easy to get folks to turn into sheep, and guide them right off to wherever you need them to go.
Well, I've heard several people, like not pundits, although I think I did read someone and stopped reading immediately because anything they said beyond that just lost credibility. But someone was trying to argue with me saying that, well, he's the president, so you have to respect him and listen to what he says. And it's like, no, I understand about respecting the office. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a given. We're Americans. Right. The president, the office of the president. But when you put a clown like that in there who is antagonizing people, who is manipulating the stock market through his complaints, which are unfounded about Amazon. I'm not going to take any time defending Amazon. They have people they pay to do that. Although Amazon, if you would like to sponsor the show, you know where to find us. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the guy he's a thief. He's crooked. He is using the office of the presidency for nefarious means. Mm-hmm. He does not get respect automatically for that. Any respect that came with the office, he has squandered.
Well, that's like
you can't judge him by what he tweets or what he says or what he does.
I work with guys who. Well, one of the guys, I don't work with him anymore, but he was from Missouri, and he was from one of the most racist towns in Missouri. And
there's so many to choose from.
I know. I just, but he said, Obama never did anything for me. And I was like, well, what the hell did you want him to do? I said, he was handed a pile of shit. And I used to get into it now. And I got into it with a Republican Jew.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. He used to be the superintendent of my juvenile hall, and he lived out in Simi Valley. Now he's moving to either Florida or Georgia or something like that. But they said Obama, I mean, they talk very bad about Obama. I said, I told them that Obama was handed a pile of crap. 3 wars and, a messed up economy and you said, here you go, have some. You basically just handed him that. And then so you expected him to give you something, and then you're pissed. You hated his wife. You called her names.
You had a Republican Congress that opposed him at pretty much every turn.
Yeah, the Congress of no.
And people will generally respond, well, there was a Democrat congressman. Look, I think we can all admit freely as liberals by this point, they don't work well together. The Democrats do not come together on stuff.
No. And so it didn't do. I mean, I don't know what they expect the office to do, but I always said that I don't know who you're going to put in there. You could put a monkey in the office. Didn't matter to me. You have to know how to survive in our society by what's thrown your way. Doesn't matter who goes. I don't care if he's black, white, or whatever. It's going to come down to how you live your life. How do you do things? How do you, when you say, because every time someone starts talking about respecting the president, morals and values go out the window. Okay, we had John F. Kennedy, biggest hoe in Washington. Everybody talks about, he was a great guy, but he was a hoe. And he was fucking all the way through. Clinton did the same thing. Richard Nixon, crook.
I was going to say, are we getting into a Nixon sex scandal here? But here's the difference, I think, on the sex scandals. Uh-huh. Because, yes, Kennedy, yes, Clinton, not Jimmy Carter, although he did admit to having lust in his heart. Right. Which, that's so cute, especially in this day and age.
He's called the worst president ever.
Right. But the thing is, with the Democrats and sex scandals, I think more people are likely and willing to give Democrats a pass on that stuff because they aren't Bible thumpers talking about family values and the sanctity of marriage like the Republicans are.
That makes it even worse.
So that's why people give Democrats a little bit of a pass on the sex stuff.
Well, but I'm